Hey guys, what's up? Inksmith back again, and today we've got a pretty sad story to tell you about a cosplaying TikToker who unfortunately ended up murdering their best friend. And the story all begins with two friends who met all the way back in around 8th grade. And the victim on this story is a girl named Helen Rose Hastings. She grew up in Houston, Texas, and she had two parents who were both biologists, and was dealt a pretty rough hand growing up because she was bullied from middle school on just for very minor things that a kid really shouldn't be bullied about. For example, she had a sensitive condition known as misophonia, which is like having an allergy to sound almost. So for things like chewing on your food, or even someone like tapping their hands on the desk or scratching or things like that would really upset her and make her have a lot of trouble just simply paying attention in class. She also got bullied because she was pansexual and was dating another girl at the time, which is just horrible to hear someone bullied simply for their orientation. The good thing that finally happened to her was after she finished middle school, she began to get into cosplay. And this is something that she partook in all the way through high school and on up into her freshman year of college. Now, this is when she met, I would say, the villain in the story, if you will, as I really don't have a better definition of Snow the Salt Queen. That is the name of her TikTok, and the name will be going by here on my video. Now, Snow the Salt Queen was another cosplaying TikToker who had quite a bit of controversies in her day on TikTok. This girl was known to dress up as one of the characters from Danganronpa. It's a Japanese story that is based on a sort of battle royale. It's been a visual novel. It's been an anime and a manga as well. It's about kids who are locked into an area where they have to pretty much kill each other off until there's only one kid left, like in the movie Battle Royale. And the way in which they go about it is kind of horrendous. It's kind of grotesque, and it deals with a lot of gore and wacky sort of like punk rock characters. Not really my cup of tea. I'm kind of over the whole Battle Royale thing, but I do know the whole series because I did actually play the RPG that was based around it, and read some of the manga as well, seeing as I live here in Japan. I heard in some other videos people say that this was a Chinese game. This is not Chinese. This is definitely from here in Japan. Now, this girl, Snow the Salt Queen. Snow the Salt Queen was a bit of a controversial figure on TikTok. It started out with her just doing the simple dances that a lot of kids do on TikTok. And when I say kids, that's really not the correct definition. I should say she was about 20 plus years old when she started to really get popular and big on TikTok, and had her first controversy of sitting on gravestones in a graveyard and dancing on gravestones. When she was confronted with other TikTok viewers complaining about this being something she shouldn't do, as she was there without underwear, sitting bare ass naked on a gravestone, very disrespectful, and dancing on them and saying, well, I didn't crack any of the graves or mess them up, so I don't see why all of you are complaining. Other posts that she responded to, she said things like, who cares anyway? They're dead and rotting or burned into ash. No one cares. People can dance on my grave too when I die. Yeah, that shows quite a bit of apathy. And quite frankly, no matter if you want to play around with themes of death or violent video games or cosplay as violent characters, that's okay. But disrespecting the actual burial plots of the dead is not. Another thing that she got kind of confronted about was a scam she ran on GoFundMe, where she decided to rescue, quote unquote, some kittens. She said that she found sick kittens who needed to get all kinds of medicine and veterinary shots like you do when you first get a new pet or a new animal in your house. And she posted a GoFundMe collecting lots and lots of money, somewhere around $600 for all these different fees to have these cats taken under her wing and supposedly spayed and neutered, brought to the vet, and have any ailments because, of course, when she got them, she says they were violently ill. Well, it turns out these kittens never existed, and she pocketed the full $600. There is some other smaller things that are kind of in a gray area as to whether or not you find them subjectively disdainful. For example, she did what is called looting. Now, looting I actually had to look up, and this is when you cosplay as minors, so characters under the age of 18, and make sexualized themes with their costumes. That's a bit of a gray area. I don't know how I feel. I'm going to say I lean towards being a bit disgusted by that. There's a lot of games and stuff in Japan where this kind of becomes an issue, and people debate back and forth because some of the characters are in age thousands of years old because they're vampires, but they look like a little kid. And when that is the visual, it disturbs me. Sorry, just my point. And the other one is she was mouthing racial slurs in TikTok videos. That means if the song had the N-word, she would mouth that part instead of bleeping it out. I don't know how you feel about that. I personally just would never choose a song to do that with or lip sync to. I think that seems easy enough to avoid. Now, everything I just told you about that Snow the Salt Queen has done are minor offenses compared to what the worst crime she did commit was. And that was one night when she was having a cosplay party, quote unquote, with Helen, the girl I talked about at the beginning of this video. Her and her friends were playing around with a real gun. Now, according to Snow the Salt Queen, the gun was left there by her ex-boyfriend, who told her he had completely emptied it of all bullets. Now, anybody who knows even a little bit about guns knows no matter if you think there's bullets in it or not, you don't play around with it like it's a toy, and you don't use it for cosplay. Even real cosplayers don't use real guns. They often just make their own versions of whatever gun their character has out of plastic, fiberglass, or styrofoam. What they decided to do was, after watching the series known as Gotham, they wanted to roleplay as the Penguin character in that series and began pointing the gun at one another, holding it to their heads. Even one time they said they pulled the trigger and of course nothing came out. That's when Helen said, "Oh, I want to take a picture of you pulling the trigger for me too." Snow the Salt Queen held the gun to her head and pulled it, and that's when the gun went off. And sadly, that's when Helen Rose Hastings died. For me, the saddest part about this is that Helen was rushed to the hospital. They tried to save her life, but it was far too late. And this is a girl who had everything in her life ahead of her. Helen was shot when she was only a freshman in college and was majoring in neuroscience with two biologists as parents. You can bet she probably had some pretty big smarts on her. And I think she had quite a great future and great career ahead of her. But sadly, that was completely taken away by her friend, Snow the Salt Queen. Now, what do you think happened after that? Do you think Snow the Salt Queen came back and made a huge apology, got off the internet, meditated on what she had done, did some self-reflecting, went to the police and turned herself in? No, actually, quite the opposite. For the next 9 months, she continued to make TikTok videos. TikTok videos including the same themes of violence, guns, shooting, blood in the background, all around that Danganronpa series. And it's disgusting. I can't believe someone would be so apathetic to what they had just done as to continue on with these themes. So much so that even though she had even been arrested and was currently waiting to go on trial, she had a location device around her ankle and would cover it up with her cosplay and continue to make videos. Her response to anyone telling her to take down her TikTok, to stop this foolishness, and to reflect on what she had done was that they didn't know her situation and they didn't know her, and this is the way she dealt with it, and that it was none of their business what was going on with her life. On top of it, she even left up her Amazon gift list so people could buy her new cosplay stuff to continue making videos. You know, she was going to be put into jail for manslaughter if this trial goes through and she's convicted. Manslaughter is a 2 to 20 year term sentence, and it usually deals with manslaughter is an accidental murder or a negligent murder and has the actual offender being remorseful. But I really wonder in this case, do you really feel like there was any remorse in a person who would have their friend die from a gun they shot next to their head and then go on to make TikTok videos for the next 9 months and leave their Amazon gift list up for people to buy stuff for her to continue to make these videos? Saying she has remorse or regret for her crime is shaky at best. Now, to follow up with what's going to go on with this, in October 21st this year, she's going to have her trial. So I'll probably follow this one up, letting you know what exactly she is convicted of and if she does go to jail for anywhere from 2 to 20 years. You know, guys, it's great when you're young and you have time to make these videos. Heck, I make TikTok videos for my cat. I love TikTok. It's really fun. And it's cool to dress up with cosplay. It's massive here in Japan. It is super popular. And no one's considered nerdy or goofy or weird anymore. We don't really look down upon this stuff. In fact, there's some people who make costumes that are so great that you're actually completely blown away by their amount of creativity, and they shine for that kind of creativity. And even some of these dancing videos, some of these people have a lot of talent. But there's some stuff you just never do, guys. Guns are never toys. Drinking and smoking, something that these people were doing during their party, is not something you should mix with guns. Cosplaying is great, but almost 100% of the time, people don't use real weapons within cosplay, especially because a lot of people get into the role play aspect of it. They act out, they want to pose, they want to strike something, and this is where accidents can happen. TikTok is not worth your life, and I really hope my younger viewers out there who do some of these dance and cosplay videos are very careful with what they use and what they do in these, because this is definitely not something worth the loss of a wonderful person like Helen Hastings. And, my condolences go out to her family. I don't think I have the right words to say anything that would offer anyone any sort of peace in such a horrible situation like this. For the future, what do I hope for? Well, I guess the good thing to learn about is that Snow the Salt Queen has finally taken down her TikTok, and she's had to take down her Instagram as well. This seems to be something her lawyer advised her to do and made a statement for her saying she's taking time off the internet to reflect on herself. 9 months way too late. On top of it, her Amazon gift list is still up. So I really still question how much she's reflecting on how much her life and the life of the parents of the person she killed really has changed and is going to change. Things are going to be hard for her in the future, and she's going to look back on this as a major forking path in her life that changed it completely. And I hope one day she can understand just how devastating what she's done is. And if there's anything we can really take away from this, it's to learn a lesson about how serious we need to be when dealing with things online and how never to take anything too far. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your comments below. What do you think about this situation and this crime? How do you think she should be punished? Is there a punishment you feel better fits this crime? Is there any chance she could get dealt a hand that leaves her with second-degree murder? I don't know enough about the law to say that, and I know from state to state things change. Her case is going to go down in Houston, Texas, and I don't quite know what the laws are there concerning negligent homicide or second or first degree murder. Nonetheless, I think things in Snow the Salt Queen's life are about to change drastically, and I hope she wakes up and takes notice, and I hope Helen's friends and family can find some sort of peace with whatever the jury comes up with as a punishment for this cosplayer. Until next time, guys, let me know what you think. I will talk to you again real soon. I've been the Inksmith. Have a great rest of the day.